As a self-proclaimed maple syrup connoisseur, I've been perplexed on how Escuminac creates their sweet nectar of nature. I knew this was a case I had to investigate. So, I packed up my plaid and headed to Quebec. After some cross-country travels, I arrived at the sugar bush. Martin comes from a long line of maple syrup farmers, from his father to his grandfather. You can say it's in his blood. Martin and his team took me on a tour of the area.
All this, whoa!
And even let me get hands-on in the making of maple syrup. From tapping the maples to testing the syrup. And even driving some of their machines. I don't know why they trusted me with that. The season of harvest usually starts around mid-March and can last 4 to 7 weeks. But that also depends on the temperature that year. At this sugar bush, there are around 75,000 maple trees connected to an intricate system. The tubes transport the sap from the tree to the station and down to these silos. The silos can contain 17,500 gallons each and are filled with sap 1 to 2 times a day during the season. Once the sap is collected, it gets filtered and then boiled down into syrup. It takes around 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup, and one tree can give half a gallon per day. The syrup is then checked and filtered again. And now it's ready to be heated for bottling. Part of taking care of a forest involves removing hazardous and sick trees. And at this sugar bush, those trees have a purpose. The trees are used as fuel to help boil the syrup through a wood furnace. The furnace also helps to heat the facility and a few amenities. And this recycling method helps to reduce the overall carbon footprint. Because all this syrup is collected from a single forest, it brings a unique character to the flavor. The time of harvest will also influence the flavor, just like fine wine. Early harvest syrup is typically a light amber color, with subtle hints of floral and caramel. As the harvest continues, the syrup becomes a deeper amber, with hints of toffee and molasses. Escuminac also makes barrel-aged syrup. The syrup is stored in barrels that were previously used to brew scotch, bourbon, and cognac. These syrups bring a really bold and dimensional flavor. As an industry, maple syrup production is growing. Canada produces around 70% of the world's pure maple syrup, and Quebec produces 90% of the country's pure maple syrup. In order to continue making this delicious treat, we need to keep our forests healthy, which is why Escuminac is committed to being organic and carbon neutral, so that everyone can continue to enjoy this delicious treat. From tree to table,